Hey guys, it's Jason here. So what I'm thinking about making this video about is it's gonna be more of a life story video. So I'm just gonna talk about a whole bunch of stuff. So without further ado, we're gonna get into this video. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. I'm sorry that my fingernails are so long. I literally I don't have time to do anything because I work a lot and I just worked overtime today, considering that it's Saturday and they kind of gave me the offer, and I was like, sure, let me have some more money. And I'm sorry if my speech is a little garbled up. I'm like really tired. I mean, I'm always a tired person because I work a lot. So yeah, and don't mind the hair either. My hair is kind of nappy. Speaking of nappy, so I was wondering, well, who the hell is this Luke Combs guy that everyone keeps talking about? All the girls keep talking about and whatnot. I know my friends have been talking about Luke Combs for a while. Luke Combs. Okay, so Luke Combs. I'm pretty sure the only thing I know about him is that like he's a country guy and he does country music. So I made a little joke running in my head. So I'm thinking, Luke Combs. I can't say the word Luke for some reason. But anyways, so I'm thinking in my head, okay, so he's some random guy named Luke. Okay, so his name is Luke, and he has a whole bunch of hair combs for my really nappy hair right now because I don't want to cut all this hair off because it's kind of like a throwback to my elementary school days when I had really long hair. Oh god, that voice crack was so bad. You guys cannot believe how many voice cracks I had today, especially at work. And for those of you who don't know, I work at Trend Technologies. It's on, if anybody's in Utica, it's at 2007 Beach Grove place. Yeah, so it's around there. It's like a big, it looks like basically a big warehouse. It's right next to the Old Charleston Mall. So if you guys haven't watched that video yet, go watch it. It's at 87 views. I need more. And yeah. So anyways, I know my friend Selena, who I'm not really gonna explain a whole lot in detail because I don't want to piss her off, because I know she's gonna come on YouTube and she's basically just gonna bash me like a little 10-year-old. But I know she likes Luke Combs a lot, and there was another girl that I don't know too well, but she added me a ways back, and she likes Luke Combs as well. So I was like, well, who the hell is this guy, and why should I care about him? But anyways, that's my 2 cents. What I really wanted to talk about is if you guys are at that stage of your life in about 1 or 2 weeks, or for some people it's like next month. I don't know why, but it just works like that for some places. You'll know what I'm talking about soon. But in 1 or 2 weeks, it's gonna be that time again. Are you getting the hint? It's like, you say goodbye to your friends, and then you pack all your stuff in the car, and you go to that special place, and then you meet all the new people, and you get acclimated to the stuff, and you're getting really excited. Of course, I am talking about none other than the big old college. Now, depending on certain people, either you're gonna be in college for only 2 years because associates. I'm pretty sure there's a couple jobs out there that you can take with an associate's degree. But nowadays, you need either a bachelor's or a master's. Anyways, if you're asking me, well, Jason, aren't you excited about college? So before I answer that, so all over Instagram and Snapchat, there's a whole bunch of videos and a whole bunch of stories about people moving into their favorite colleges and stuff like that, and talking about how they're having a whole wonderful time and stuff like that. Now, if you're asking me, are you excited? And the answer is real simple. Not really. Now you're wondering, Jason, how come you're not so excited? It's college, it's the best time of your life, it's way better than high school. That I can agree on. But what I don't agree on is some of the choices that I made in terms of, college-wise. One of the biggest mistakes I made is, you guys are gonna hate me for this one, but picking biology as a major. Now, when I was a kid, when I was really into art and stuff like that, my big plan was to be an artist and to go to a really, really good art school. In fact, I have 2 friends that go to art school. It's Pratt MWP, if you guys are from the local area. It's a pretty good art school. It's actually pretty cheap too. I have a friend, Diana. She's a really good drawer, and she's a pretty good friend of mine. It used to be I kind of annoyed the crap out of her and Donovan, but Diana, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry for stalking you in the library, and let's just hope that, you know, we can continue this trend of good friendship and stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, as a kid, always wanted to be an artist. My dad, he was pretty good at drawing, but then he decided to move on to greener pastures and become an accountant. Now, you're wondering, why didn't you just stick with art? Well, I don't want to talk about that because I know I'm going to have a whole backlash from my parents about it, but anyways, I made the decision in either middle school or high school. Actually, in middle school, I wasn't really too worried about what I wanted to be because I was like, you know, college is a really long way to get there, and you know, it's going to take forever to get there. You know, here we are now, sophomore in college, and not really enjoying my time in UC like I've told everybody. Picking biology was one of them. Now, had I known how hard biology was, I probably would have just quit after the first semester and probably just changed my major to accounting because I knew it was going to be that hard and I knew I was going to be heavily dedicated to it. So the only reason I wanted to pick biology because 1, I really love animals, 2, I really care about the environment, and 3, I love the outdoors. I mean, even when I was on that 5-year spree of just playing Call of Duty and playing Xbox a lot, which I kind of regret because 1, Call of Duty's trash, and I really like the outdoors. In fact, I'm trying to do more nowadays to go outside and find whatever pathetic excuse I can come up with to basically leave the house. But sometimes my brother doesn't want to come along because he's too busy with his friend Kevin playing Fortnite. Cat Booster, if you're watching this, limit your time on Xbox and get off the freaking Xbox and come with me, you know, the places. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, the only reason why I picked biology was because there was one major reason. Everyone else wanted to be a biologist. So I was like, you know, cool, whatever. You know, they pay a lot of good money. It looks really interesting, but then I didn't know how hard and tedious the work was going to be, and that I wasn't going to put a whole lot of effort into it. So the people, I'm guessing, that took biology as a major already took AP Bio in high school. Now, I was at the unfortunate end of the stick. When my good friend Sanad, he was like, don't take AP Bio, it's a living nightmare, you're not going to like it, you might not survive. So I ended up taking physics. I did decently in it. If you guys are, you know, class of 2017 watching this and you were in my physics class, you kind of know how I kind of struggled a bit to learn some of this stuff. Oh, and if you are a class of 2017, you were in my class, physics, what was it, 8-9, Mr. Levine. Probably one of the best teachers out there. He's a chess club member. He's like the one that facilitates the whole chess club thing. And I wish I joined it because it looked so cool, but like I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But anyways, yeah. I shouldn't have picked the bio major. I shouldn't have been so quick to like just rush headlong into it because lo and behold, something happened to me in college that I don't really want to talk about, and I don't want to have to leak about it. You know, we can talk about that at different times. So, anyways, that's one of the reasons why my college experience hasn't been so also great. The second reason why is because a quarter of my college experience is not me in a dorm. I practically live at home. Now, if you're wondering, oh man, you know, there's nothing bad about living at home. Your food's for free. You can basically get up and go take a shower whenever and not have to wait for your roommate and stuff. Except I want to experience that, you know. Maybe I want to experience, you know, having to wait for your roommate to take his hour-long shower for some reason because singing in the shower or like singing to like some Fortnite rap music. or like, you know, just having a good time with your roommates and the other fellow roommates down on the hallway, and you know, they're playing beer pong and they're getting drunk and they're getting high off of shrooms, and you know, they're all playing new, you know, whatever the latest Fortnite pass is, and you know, we're all just having a good time. I don't get the pleasure of that. I'm pretty much at home stuck with the same people. I don't really have much of a problem for that because I'm an introvert, and I don't like being with people. It's kind of like, it gets me nervous, it gets me kind of claustrophobic. I don't like being around people as much as other people do. I mean, take my friend Selena for example. She literally goes to a party like every other day in college. I mean, I don't know if it's true, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember I was on Twitter one day, I was just, you know, scrolling through the feed, and all of a sudden, I get a tweet from Selena, and I'm pretty sure she said something about like, oh, her RA came up to her and she was like, you have a bit of a drinking problem, and Selena's like, no I don't, I'm just fine. Selena, if you're watching this, I don't think, you know, I'm not trying to bash you or anything. You do whatever you have to do, but as a good friend, I'm looking out for you, and I gotta say, you need to limit your alcohol intake, because I'm pretty sure when you grow up to be like in your 30s and you have complicated issues, it's not gonna look well for you. But anyways, yeah. So I'm not in a dorm. I'm at home, seeing the same freaking people every day. Speaking of same, I mean, I can make do without a dorm, and I can make do with a major that I didn't really enjoy much of. The third reason is probably one of the big reason. Whoa, voice crack. My neck is killing me so bad because I'm straining so hard. I'm sorry, guys. But the third reason is that, I mean, I've seen the college like a billion times, and I'm stuck in the same city that I've been living in for about 19 years now. You see, when most people get really excited about college, it's because they're moving far away from home. You know, they're mature enough to be able to move far away from home. Unfortunately, I don't have the maturity, as you guys already know, to move far away from home because I can't do half of the stuff that other people can do. I mean, I'm 19 years old and I can barely know how to wash my own clothes. I'm 19 years old and I wouldn't know what to do if something bad really happened. Like, I'll just do something really stupid and not call the cops. Or I would end up doing something really stupid where they would probably regret the decision to make me go, like, you know, out of Utica. But anyways, you know, when people get excited about college, it's probably because they've never seen it before. I mean, take my friend Rachel. I mean, we're not really like close friends, but like we're starting to become friends. I remember she came up to me in like second semester of my first year. No, not second semester. It was first semester of my first year. And you know, time for finals and all. She comes up to me and she was like, "Are you in Chem 211?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have Chem 211. I mean, I am a bio major after all. What do you freaking do?" You know, as if Utica College isn't already full of bio majors. Jesus, people flood that major so much, and then they wonder why they can't do well because it's so freaking hard, and it requires a lot more thought to it. But anyway, she comes up to me and she was like, I need notes so that I can study for the final. I'm like, wow, you actually study? You know, me as a person, I actually stopped studying in like middle school, and that was when I started losing passion for school because, you know, stuff happened in my life that I wish hadn't happened, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We can talk about that in a later video. But she comes with me and she was like, "Hey, your name is Jason, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "I need to borrow your notebook full of like lab notes." And I'm like, "Okay." And she was like, "I need to study really quick." I'm like, "I thought you had all the notes." She was like, "Oh, what was like your stuff I need to correct and stuff." So I'm like, "Okay, whatever. Just take my notebook and just like go, like just go study." I mean, I don't mean that in a rude way. Like, Rachel, if you're watching, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to reenact out this whole scenario. It's been a while since I even thought about college. I mean, it's about 2 weeks, like 2 weeks before we go back, and I don't want to have to really think about it because I spent this whole entire summer vacation working, and I haven't pumped out as many videos as I wanted to, or go to the places that I want to, because I'm practically like working every single day of the week, except for like Sundays. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of how I got to know Rachel. Actually, I knew Rachel from the orientation when she did that little freaking play about, like, you know, how to get orientated into college and stuff like that. That's when I sort of knew her, but I didn't really knew her. Like, I didn't know her. That's what I meant, you know, for all those grammar Nazis out there. Anyways, she's from Hawaii. She's not from, you know, Utica, New York like I am. Like, I've been here pretty much all my life, so I've pretty much seen everything there is to see here in this freaking city. Like, in this godforsaken city where there's nothing to do. And you wonder why so many of my friends leave, or can't wait to leave. So, Rachel's from Hawaii, and I'm pretty sure she's seen everything that she's had to see. But then, you know, me coming from the outside, I'm like, why would you want to leave Hawaii? Hawaii is such, like, it has, like, a really good climate. You're always by the ocean, sandy beaches, aloha type of, you know, I'm not trying to be a racist or whatever. But, you get the point. Like, to me, it looks like a really fun place because I haven't been there. But for Rachel, she wants to desperately leave because she's probably been there for her entire life because she was born in Hawaii. So when she comes to New York and, like, it starts snowing and stuff, she gets really excited because she's probably never seen snow in Hawaii. I mean, I'd be pretty scared if it was snowing in Hawaii. You know, speaking of snow and that type of stuff, we all know that Trump pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement, which was a really bad idea because America is the second largest polluter on the planet in terms of, like, how much emittance we put out there. I mean, this isn't me making this up. It's all science. You can look it up on the Internet of Things. China is actually doing well to clean up its act. I mean, President Xi, when he did his whole party Congress thing, you know, because they don't really have a democratic government. They call it a party Congress to make it look like it's a democratic government, but it really isn't. They're an authoritarian government, and they're practically doing better in the climate war than we are. So his main goal was, you know, we're going to stop using coal. We're getting richer now. We don't need the coal anymore. We're going to use renewable energies so that we can win the hearts and minds of people so that our government doesn't get overthrown because of people getting really pissed off because we're not doing what they want them to do. But, yeah. That's my little climate rant. I believe that America should do more to fix the climate because, you know, our economy is tied in to the environment. You know, when people say, you know, in the fishing industry it's declining, it's probably because we overfished and we had no idea how to stop ourselves because the consumer is like, we need more fish, we need more fish, we need more fish, and that's because there's 7 billion people on the planet and not enough to go around. So, you know, for people like, you know, our old great big president who says that the, you know, economy comes first and environment comes second, you might want to rethink that because if you ruin the environment, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot because the economy is wholly dependent on the environment. You know, one of these days, we're going to run out of oil and then people are going to get really pissed off and it's going to be like a Fallout scenario all over. You know, it's going to be like that. You know how, like, in the Fallout series, they're like, they run out of oil, so they have to use, like, nuclear power, but, like, we haven't really got there yet in terms of, like, nuclear fusion and, you know, miniaturizing nuclear reactors, and, you know, that's all in the realm of science fiction, at least for now. You know, so imagine like that, but, like, in the real world, you know, like, you know, the Middle East has run dry of oil, and it's like, well, I don't exactly have oil anymore. And then people start getting really pissed off and they start looking for oil, and then that brings them into conflict, and then, you know, push comes to shove, we start using nuclear weapons and there goes the human race. I mean, Mother Nature can do fine without us, but we can't fare well without nature. We're still tied to nature, even though we like to think that we're wholly independent of nature. We still need nature. But anyways, that's just my little rant on climate change. I'll talk more about that in the video if I actually remember, because my attention span isn't really that great as of with all kids in this day and age of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Tumblr, all that 9-yard stuff. So anyways, back to Rachel. So she She sees snow for the first time. She gets really excited. I see snow. I'm like, oh man, I gotta clean my driveway. I gotta warm up my car. I gotta brush off the car. I gotta go super slow. And I remember that I can't go 80 on a 30 anymore. And feeling that rush. And I gotta go like 20 miles per hour. And it really wouldn't matter because people in Utica are really stupid drivers. And they don't know when to slow down or when to stop. And then and then it just hits your car or something, you get pissed off or whatever. But yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is a person like Rachel coming to Utica, she'd be really excited because she's never seen a city like Utica before. Me, I've already seen this place like a billion trillion times. I've seen everything that there is to Utica, at least the vast majority of it. I've seen UC like a billion times. I've practically been doing college tours of UC since I was like in middle school. So I'm not gonna be real excited about being in UC as like, someone like Rachel, having come from, not from Utica or anywhere in the continental United States, but from Hawaii, good old Hawaii with really good 60, 70, 80 degree climate, and the big surf waves. She comes into Utica and she gets all riled up and excited, like most of her friends, because most of her friends are from Utica. Sandy, I think she's from Syracuse, Ivy's from Rochester, and her best friend, Christina, those four group of friends, they're like pretty close to each other. She's from Long Island, and it's really cool. She's doing the study abroad program, and she's going to Peru, which is pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, I can't do study abroad because I don't have the maturity to take care of myself overseas. I'm still dependent on my parents and stuff like that. So I go to UC and I'm like, well, okay, cool. I'm here. I made it. I just gotta slave away 4 more years. I mean, it's not saying that I hate UC. I mean, I like UC because it's a small college. You get that direct relationship that I ultimately ignore because I'm an introvert and I hate asking people for stuff because it gets me really nervous and I don't know what kind of response they're gonna evoke. And I think like none of my friends are in Utica anymore. Like, they all went to college outside of Utica, so I'm like, I'm the only one in Utica, and I don't have any real friends left, so it's just me, by my lonesome, practically doing this all by myself. I mean, that's at least what I think. I mean, obviously there's people who come out of nowhere and all of a sudden make like 500 different friends as soon as they get onto like the UC campus. Me, it kind of takes a while because, I'm the type of person who like wants to like shoot past the small talk and I want to talk about like what's the meaning of life, or what are your big dreams, what are your big plans, tell me about your nightmares, tell me about the big values that you have in life. I'm that type of person. I want to talk about deep things in life. I want to have those deep, meaningful conversations that form the big bonds. I don't want to just small talk like, hey, I'm trying to smash tonight. I'm kind of past that. I'm kind of past the days of chasing girls and, wanting to smash every hot chick that I saw. I'm a different person now. I'm way too tired. I'm too tired of a person to be chasing after girls anymore. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So, yeah. So I'm not really too excited to go back. I mean, I guess that could change if I experience something a little differently in UC for the next 3 years that I'm there, and then I get my bachelor's degree and then I move out of Utica, because the ultimate goal for any Uticans is to get out of this place, because there really is nothing to do here besides food and the house parties. But even the house parties get really boring after a while because you've already been to like so many of them, and you've oversaturated your memories with just being drunk, and then you ended up doing that one chick that you really didn't know, but she was kind of hot anyways, so you did her anyways while she was hot for shrooms and Xans and whatnot. If there's kids watching this, just be mindful of what I say. It's going to be kind of colorful. It's going to be stuff you're not really familiar with. So just err on the side of caution when you're watching this video because it's going to be more mature stuff. The next thing I want to talk about, and before I talk about that, I'm going to pause this video real quick because I have to take a drink of water. Alright guys, I'm back. I just Had my drink of water, my neck's still kind of sore because I'm jutting my face in the freaking screen and stuff like that. I don't exactly have like a head recliner on my chair. There's like nothing there, see? There's nothing there. So I gotta hold my neck up. So the next thing I want to talk about is it's actually something I didn't find out until like later this week. I was at work going through my feed. You know, it's during break time. So at work, I work at Trenton Technologies. Another voice crack. I need to know when to stop doing voice cracks. So anyways, I work at Trenton Technologies. So what Trenton Technologies does, you know, at least what I do, I sit on the assembly line, and there's like boards with like little pieces and components on it and stuff like that, and you need to look at the boards and make sure everything's in place, because if everything's not in place, and if the person at the end of the line doesn't catch it because it goes through an oven, and you know there's all this there's this paste that's actually like solder material. So it wasn't like back in like in my tech class we had to take a stick of solder and you had to melt it through the thing. You had to make sure like it didn't like it didn't get on your hands or basically anywhere in your body. Little fun story, I was in 8th grade, you know, being the idiot that I was. I had a friend named Com. Com, if you're watching this, you're gonna really cringe out when I tell this story. And if you're gonna tell Issa, then go ahead, whatever. I don't really care. You know, we're all good friends anyways. So anyways, if you guys are wondering who Com and Issa are, Com is like my best friend. We were friends in middle school. That was when I first found out about him. And Issa, I didn't figure out until like high school. Now they both date, and they're a pretty cool couple. So if you see them, just like, you know, say hi, you know, if you guys know them. So anyways, Issa, if you're watching this, I'm having a fun time talking about like the stuff that I did to Com before you guys dated. So it's me, Nick, and Com. We're in a group in technology class, PLTW. It was PLTW class, and they wanted us making these boards because, you know, it's technology, and we were doing this project where we had to make our own circuit board. So it lit up the little light bulb. So it was like a circuit board, and there was a whole bunch of wires that led to a battery, and then that battery had more wires coming off of it, and it led to like a little light bulb, and you were able to make your own little contraption light bulb, which I didn't think looked really safe, but you know, you can go figure. That's that. And so anyways, I had the little the soldering bar. It's like this silver stick, and it looks like metal, but it really isn't metal. It's like solder material. And you had this wand thingamajig. I don't remember what it was, but like at the tip it was like super hot. You had to heat it up, and it was like 800 degrees. So what my stupid self did was that I decided to play around with the solder because it looked pretty cool when you were melting the solder through the thing, and it basically melted instantaneously. It looked pretty cool to me. You know, I'm just that immature, and I think everything looks cool for some reason. But you know, so Com was there holding the board, and we were kind of fooling around. I don't know what Nick was doing. Nick actually looked like he was actually like, you know, the one doing the project, and so was Com, and I'm the one fooling around because I didn't want to do the project because I didn't really take a giant interest in it. I mean, like, that's just me as a person. I don't take a whole lot of interest in a lot of things in life besides like a couple things. Anyways, so I have the solder bar, and the idea is to melt enough solder so that you made this little droplet so that you can stick all your components on there and stuff. Me, being the idiot and childish, goofy person that I am, I ended up melting the whole entire thing, and Com's hand was just like lingering on there, and I didn't really tell him, but then like a whole bunch of it started dripping on Com's hand, and this dude had like 3rd degree burns or something, 2nd or 3rd degree, and I felt really bad because it was kind of funny at the same time. And he was like, "Man, you just burned my hand, what the hell? Oh man, what the fuck, you just burned my hand off." And I was just sitting there laughing because it was actually kind of funny. And yeah, they had to rush him to the nurse's office, and they had to like band-aid him up and stuff like that. I don't know what they did, but I'm pretty sure he's still gonna have that scar for the rest of his life. So Com, if you're watching this, I'm sorry for doing that. If you want to beat me up, go right ahead. My address is 2027 Genesee Street. If you want to beat me up, you know, have Issa, you know, record there and scream "Will Scar" while you're like, you know, pummeling on the ground doing a little doing the whatchamacallit, what did they call it in Doom? The new Doom game. Goy kill, like freaking goy kill me, and you're just like pounding the hell out of me because you're like, oh Jason, you shouldn't have sorry my hair, now my girlfriend's gonna remember this for life, and I have this scar for basically until I die. Yeah. What was I talking about again? Yeah, see, I tend to go off so topic. God, I can't even talk. See, this is what happens when you don't sleep a lot. So I tend to go off topic when I do these Lifestory videos. But, what was I talking about? So, anyways. I really don't know what I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, that's right. So, if you're in Utica, and, basically, if you watch WKTV, I don't know too many people that watch WKTV, but if you do, you would know that Monday, Donald Trump, of all freaking people, is coming to Utica. Now, from what I've heard, we haven't had a president come to Utica in a really long time. I don't remember who it was, and I don't remember what year it is, so if you want to comment down below to help me update this information, you can go right ahead, you know. Oh, and one quick reminder, I do not want political party fanboy wars in my comment section down below. I'm not here for that. I'm not a political commentary type of guy. It doesn't matter what type of party you are, you know. This is the United States, this is not Russia. We're like one party dominated for like nearly 20 years now, and they don't get the freedom that they deserve. You know, the Russians, I feel bad for them because you got this douchebag Putin in power, who is practically ruining their economy because he's like, man, I want to make the Soviet Union again. I want to conquer all Europe and get Ukraine under my belt. But anyways, yeah, so, you know, President Orange, as people like to call him, like, after he won. President Orange is coming to Utica, and, you know what my thoughts are? My thoughts are, he's gonna get a whole lot of backlash because people in Utica are all about diversity. They're all about helping the poor, and let's just face the facts. We're a Democrat majority state. I mean, this is New York. It's even bigger in Utica because everyone's a Democrat. I have the distinct advantage, like, I have the distinct disadvantage of being a Republican. Like, I'm just that one guy that sticks out from the crowd. I might end up changing that sooner or later. Like, I might just switch over to being a Democrat because it actually just fits my ideals more. So, Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry that I might have to make the switch over, but the stuff that you're trying to get me to believe in, I just don't believe in. So, I hope you can take this lightly with a hint of salt. Anyways, I really don't want to get into depth with him because I have so much stuff to say about him that is like so negative. But I think I'm going to tell you guys anyway. So, you want to know what my thoughts are on the however many presidents we had so far. I don't really tend to pay attention to that stuff. You know, I actually pay more attention to European politics than I do American politics because American politics is so boring and European politics is like, man, it just feels exciting. There's so many like political parties and people have like all these different interests and stuff like that. You know, they're all trying to come together and work out a different solution, and they're forming together to like make a coalition government. You know, we don't really have that in the United States. It's just two parties and then a whole bunch of fringe parties. You know, you got the Tea Party, you got the Independent Party, some other parties I don't really know about, but the main ones are Democrat and Republican. So the Democrats are the ones that are like, you know, the ones I believe in, you know, the ones that are bigger on science, the ones who want to, you know, help out the people. The only thing I don't like about them is that they don't really have a solution of where to get the money from, which is like, I guess that's what Dad's trying to say when he bashes the Democrats a lot. Like, I wake up every day and this guy, like my dad, will wake up like, this is what the Democrats are doing, you know, this is what we get for being a Democratic state. I'm like, if you knew that this part of America was going to be a Democrat, like, majority, why don't you just move to, like, Alabama, Mississippi? Those guys are pretty conservative as heck. So my thoughts on him, he is a 2 out of 10 president, and that's being really, really generous. You want to know why? So my dad, he's like, Trump has done so much what Obama hasn't done. Now I'm like, okay, what hasn't he done? He's like, oh, he hasn't fixed the economy. Oh, allowing the United States to get ripped off. And like, well, first of all, we've been getting ripped off since like the 70s when China basically opened its doors and like said, hey, you know, we need jobs in this country, you know, in our country pronto, because we're still an agrarian country, and like pretty much the vast majority of the population is just a bunch of peasants working on farms. So you know, that's been happening. Globalization was gonna end up being a real thing, whether you liked it or not, because so many countries were just opening their doors and allowing their cultures to flow back and forth and all that stuff. And that's why we Uticans, you know, we have a love for diversity and different cultures. You know, we like that here. Plus, I find it kind of funny where, you know, that whole debate where what was it? Like, President Trump said something, and it was about Africa, and he was like, well, he said something about like Africa being like shithole countries, which got me kind of pissed off because I have a friend who's from Sudan, South Sudan, and he's actually a pretty cool dude, and we call him, what the hell do we call him? We call him Black Magic. So his name's Lewis, his sister's Yar. I mean, me and Yar are pretty good friends. She's also best friends with the Trans Sisters, if you guys know them, you know, if you're from Utica. I mean, Trans Sisters are pretty popular around here. And I think I might need a drink of water again, because my throat is getting really, really dry. But anyways. So he said something about these African countries being shitholes, and I believe that's just wrong. I believe that Africa has the disadvantage of being colonized for more than 200 years. You know, the Europeans basically, they came in and they basically just took all their stuff, just you know, and then you really didn't have much to show for it. And basically saying, hey, look, I have more land than you, and that's it. That's basically the point of imperialism. The idea behind imperialism was that they were going to go conquer another country, and then the hope was that it was going to boost their prestige and stuff like that. Now, maybe that would have already worked in like Asia, because Asia is like abundant in resources, but Africa, you know, you kind of have to look hard for resources. You know, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking that Africa isn't really a resource-rich continent. Asia is where it's all at, unfortunately. So, and I'm Asian, I'm Cambodian, so, you know, my ass got conquered by the French until like 1954 when they got their butts whooped by the Viet Minh. But anyways, so, and then he was like, and then Trump was like, oh, how come we don't have immigrants coming from Norway? And I just couldn't help but just laugh to myself by how stupid he sounded. He was like, why don't we have immigrants coming from Norway? Okay, well, first of all, Norway has stuff that we don't have. You know what Norway has? They have the democratic socialist model, which is like, it's a model where like, when people get free stuff, if you work hard enough, like if you pay enough taxes, it basically pays off by saying, you know, you have like, you know, a really good job. You know, you've been working and slaving away your life, like a good portion of life to get a good job. And you're like, well, there's like a really big hike in taxes, and you're wondering, well, how's that going to benefit me? It actually does benefit you in Europe and other parts of the world, because you got universal healthcare, you got free healthcare, so you go to the doctors, you don't have to pay for anything. In America, you go for an ambulance ride, and it automatically costs like $5,000. You do that in a place like France or Germany or even freaking Bulgaria of all places, you know. Freaking Bulgaria, a former communist country, and they're like the poorest member of the EU. Even they get free ambulance rides because, you know, free universal healthcare. You know what else is free? Free, no, I don't want to put my middle finger on it. That's bad. But, free higher education. So the way that works is like, after like your secondary school, like after you're done with that, you basically have to take a rigorous test that you have to pass. So the test basically consists of everything that you're supposed to know, that you should have known, and if you pass it, you basically get to go to college for free. You don't really have to pay anything because your taxes already paid all of that. So you got free universal healthcare, and you have free higher education. And let's just be honest, people in Norway are really friendly. You know, you come to America, you know, there's all the alt-righters. They're like, oh, white power first, or you know, and then you get the police that just basically shoot anybody they want because, you know, that's just in their power. And we have the biggest incarceration population in the freaking world. I mean, us, of all countries, you know, a country that preaches a democratic system, we have more people in jail than even places like China, Iran, and Russia. And those are pretty authoritarian countries where you basically get arrested for even breathing. And so yeah, nobody from nowhere is gonna want to come and live in the United States because we already have a bunch of social problems. I mean, they don't really have a whole lot of problems going on. They love it there. Why would they want to come here? You know, there's a reason why people in Africa want to come here, because it's a lot worse there than in America. People from Norway don't want to come to America because Norway has a better style of living than America does. You know, you don't see cops running around with like machine guns, you know, shooting the people running away because they didn't want to get arrested. You're like, oh, what did you do? My bad, you know. I accidentally emptied my clip of like, you know, my 30-round clip and my M16 rifle because the guy resisted arrest. I'm like, don't you guys have like tasers or something? Use a freaking taser for all things. You know, that's why they made tasers. You know, it's less than lethal. So yeah, he's the other funny thing I like is that my parents support someone who's anti-immigrant, even though they were immigrants themselves. And that goes back to the whole it goes back to the whole what are we talking about? So he's in the process of doing a travel ban, you know, for most Middle Eastern countries like Iran, Syria, Yemen. I can't name all of them off the top of my head, but he ended up neglecting the two where most of the terrorists come from. You know, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Those two countries are where most of the terrorists come from. You know, I'm sorry to say, but it's kind of true. I mean, you don't get too many terrorists coming from Iran or all these other countries. You know, it's kind of hard for them to come here in the first place because you kind of need the money to come here, and people are always watching you. You know, it's a world where we're always being watched. So I found that kind of funny that he didn't decide to put a travel ban on the two places where terrorists normally come from. And what else is another thing? Oh yeah, the whole illegal Mexican immigrant thing. So okay, yes, we do have an immigration problem. There are illegal Mexicans coming in here. Now maybe, I don't know, I'm starting to think, you know, Mexicans coming here is a good thing because we Americans nowadays don't really have that drive to work anymore. You know, we want to stay home. We want to be the guys that, like, you know, we want to just SoundCloud rap or watch Netflix or play Call of Duty or basically do anything that's not work and expect to get money in our hands like right away. You know, we don't really have the drive to work anymore like in the 60s because what is there to work for? We already have a good enough lifestyle. We already have all the things that we wanted. These Mexicans, you know, these guys coming over from Mexico because Mexico is so if you look at the corruption perception index, it's a list of like, so if you're number 1 on the list, it means you're the least corrupt, and if you're like number 200 and something, that means you're the most corrupt. And I'm just gonna pause this real quick because I really need a drink. Alright guys, I'm back. So I just had a drink of water. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have like a cup of water right next to me in case my throat gets really dry, because I'm not really too great at this whole talking thing on camera. You know, I'm trying. I'm really trying for you guys. You guys are my fans. And I just want you to have like my little peace of mind about things that are going on in my life. So where are we? So for 2 years now, because he supposedly got elected in 2016, although I think the Russians had a hand in putting him in power as president, because President Houn really said that it would be preferable if President Trump was president of the United States, because he wanted the United States to ease sanctions on Russia for basically invading Ukraine, because, you know, I don't know what the hell they're doing over there. probably had something to do with Ukraine wanting to be closer to Europe, and they wanted to join the EU and NATO, and Russia wasn't really having it because they're like, that's a little too close to my country. I think we're still big and powerful and we still control all of Ukraine. No, you guys don't. The 90s over. You guys are Russia. They're Ukraine. They have their own agendas. You have your own agendas. Why can't we just be in peace? But then that's just geopolitics, and that's how it works. Wow, my throat is dry. So, my dad's theory of why Mexicans want to come to the United States is because he says that they basically freeload off of everything that we have, like a welfare system, a social security, or education. And while that may be true up to a certain extent, the real reason why they want to come here is because their country is in a really, really bad state. I mean, it still isn't a bad state. So, you all know what Mexico is like. You got gang violence going on, you got drug cartels controlling places that even the government can't kick them out of because the government is relatively ineffective. They're still a third world country, so I find it funny how the United States is like smack dab in the middle of like two worlds. You have Canada, which is basically European-like. They have universal healthcare. They have free education. My cousins live in Canada, so you guys can ask them. So they're very European-like, and you basically have you have Canada to the north, and you have Mexico to the south, and they're still a third world country. So the first world country that has a higher life expectancy than the United States, and then below the United States you have a third world country that's even more corrupt than Russia even is. And I forgot to talk about this, but water again. The Corruptions Perceptions Index. So if you don't know what that is, it's a list of how corrupt countries are. It goes off of a variety of criteria. The government, social services, trading, that type of stuff. So I'm pretty sure the one country that's on top is probably like Denmark or Norway or something like that. That's not surprising, considering that, they're one of those happy-go-lucky countries that just tend to hit the nail on everything, and like they do everything right. Kind of makes me wish I was Scandinavian. And the countries at the bottom are the ones we already know are at the bottom. You got Yemen, which is in the middle of a civil war right now. Technically a proxy war because you have Saudi Arabia on one side supporting the government, and Iran on the other side supporting the Houthis. If you don't know who the Houthis are, they're the rebels that are trying to oust the government. And so they're going at it at each other, and nothing's really getting done. And there's talks about a cholera outbreak that's ongoing right now. There's like 100,000 people dead. Actually more than that, give or take. And the other country that's all the way at the bottom is, well, what do you know? North Korea. I mean, like, is that really surprising? Is that really like not convincing enough that North Korea is like at the bottom of the corruption perception list? I mean, like, the whole government is based off of a so-called pseudo dynasty. It's like when one of the Kim members die, another Kim member takes over, and there's no real election. And they have really draconian laws that not even the Chinese would want to live there. And the Chinese are pretty authoritarian as well. And you know what's surprising about the Chinese? They're actually less corrupt than Russia. So I find it funny when a really authoritarian country can clean up its act better than a country that's trying to pretend to be a democracy. But anyways, well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Mexicans. So I believe they want to come here because they think like just like every other immigrant does. They want a better life. They want a better life for their children. And they just want to, be happy. Be happy and be safe, because there's rampant gang violence going on in Central and South America. That's why they want to come here. And you get the ignorant people. They're like, oh, they're only here to feed off of whatever, and they just want to come here and bring their relatives over. And I'm like, well, mom and dad, when you were an immigrant, when you guys were immigrants and came to the United States for the first time, and you found out how great America was, wouldn't you want to bring your relatives over to the United States too? Because, you know, they can get a shot at a better life, even though it meant like braving the assault of, you know, hatred and people saying that you're basically just freeloading off of the system, even though you're not, you're working hard. There's probably Mexicans out there who have a better work ethic than I do. I mean, I don't like to work. I kind of like everything handed to me for free. That's kind of my attitude, and I probably need to change that sometime soon. But I find it funny how he's trying to put a wall on the border between the United States and Mexico. First of all, he was trying to get Mexico to pay for it. Mexico said no, and he got really mad about it. So I don't know what he's doing right now, but I'm pretty sure there's like a whole trade war going on with like Mexico and a whole bunch of other countries with, like, you know, Donald Trump's basically waging trade wars left and right, and it's kind of counterproductive because it's hurting local business owners, because local business owners they also do some international business, and they do business with these countries, and, you know, that's how they profit and stuff like that. You know, you can't just do stuff locally anymore. You know, you gotta branch out. You gotta reach out to those international customers, and that's just economics 101. So when you're waging trade wars with the countries that you trade with that are actually like doing good trade, that's kind of counterproductive to what you're trying to do. You know, Mr. Trump is like, well, these countries are like, you know, they're ripping us off. You know, they're selling us cheap products. You know, we need to make America great again, even though it's never been great since like the 70s. America is basically on the decline right now, while China is on the rise to becoming the great superpower that it should have always been for thousands of years. But hold up, guys. This is the most I've talked on camera. I think I have to call that a job well done. So, anyways, this all started when we're gonna talk about the trade war a little bit and what's going on. So this all started with you know, Donald Trump's addressing the issue about China stealing intellectual property and, you know, forcing business owners, like, you know, forcing companies to basically to form these type of like partnerships with Chinese businesses, and then the Chinese people get like most of the cut out of it, and we're basically left with nothing. So my opinion, you know, I agree with Donald Trump. That is a major problem. The reason why the Chinese are doing this is because they're trying to outdo America. The number one goal in China right now is to become the number one superpower and make sure that they're on top and the United States stays all the way at the bottom, because we've been on top for like 70 plus years. I need water again. Hold up, guys, I'm sorry. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, okay, right next to me, I have a big glass of water this time, and not just like a 16th of a cup of water, because I know how long this video is going to be. So, yeah, I agree with what Donald Trump is saying. You know, we need to solve the issue with China stealing our intellectual property and basically ripping us off. Like, I can agree with that. So there's like a little bit of a limited war going on, you know, a limited trade war going on. And that was fine by me. So when he declared a trade war in China, I was like, okay, he's finally doing something right. You know, of course, him being Donald Trump, he ends up taking it like 5 steps further, and he's like, well, now we're going to do a trade war in Japan. We're going to do a trade war in South Korea. We're going to do one in India. I mean, why India? India is practically agreeing with everything we say, because, you know, they have the same problem that we have. You know, China's dominating the markets right now. You know, there's no room for them to really grow the local businesses because they're wholly dependent on, you know, importing stuff from China. And it's like a one-way street for them. You know, China's getting all the cut and India gets nothing. So I find it funny how we're waging a trade war with India. when India is trying to help us, you know, solve the whole China thingamajig. And then we have a trade war with the EU, of all places, I don't know why. And we also have a trade war with Mexico and Canada. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me why you would wage a trade war on countries that are trying to promote your cause by saying, hey, we all agree with you, and saying that China has been stealing intellectual property and are forcing businesses into these partnerships which benefit Chinese businesses more than our businesses do, and then they kick us out, and then they basically get what they want. Like, they were agreeing with that, and then Donald Trump was like, I had the bright idea. Let me get in touch with my really not so bright fan base and give them what they want. So I was like, let's start trade with. I feel like maybe he was like half drunk when he was doing this. You know, he's off playing golf because for some reason he plays golf all the time. And I don't know why. He's like that. Whenever something bad happens, he basically like gets out of the White House and he disappears onto a golf course somewhere. But I feel like he was drunk. I feel like maybe he was drunk after playing like a match or a couple matches of golf, and he was like looking at a map and he was like, who can I start a trade war with today? Let me start with Japan just because I don't like the way they're doing the car business. Let me start one in South Korea because they're ripping us off on the fence. Let me start one in India because, I don't know, maybe they're doing something with their computer companies. Oh, boo! Oh, let's do one in the EU just because I don't like the EU and I don't like Angela Merkel. Let's do one in Canada because I don't like Justin Trudeau, even though he's a pretty dope prime minister. And let's do one with Mexico because they're still having that little immigration problem. Okay, guys, I think we're set. Let's start trade wars. Now, commence. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, let's get it done with. So I feel like that maybe that's one. I think like maybe that was what he was like when he started initiating trade wars with our trading allies. I mean, like, in the past 2 years of his presidency, we probably couldn't have alienated more of our allies and basically became friends with people that are authoritarians, like President Trump. He basically said congrats to President Rodrigo Duterte. If you don't know who that is, he's the president of the Philippines. He has a bit of a really controversial He has like a really controversial background. I mean, he's the one that basically advocated, you know, let's use vigilante on the streets. You know, let's turn our country into a PvP-enabled match like Fortnite. Only this time we all have guns and we're basically hunting down, drug dealers. I mean, yes, the Philippines does have a bit of a drug problem, but I believe that it could be solved in other ways. But, you know, his whole fan base just said, yeah, let's go kill these drug dealers, even though that looks bad in terms of human rights records. President Trump is also good friends with who else? President Erdogan. So, I have a friend who lives in Turkey, and I don't know if she knows a whole lot about the political situation that's going on in Turkey. Recently today I just read that the Turkish lira is going down under, and that has some bad implications for the Turkish economy, and as well as the EU, because the EU is kind of tight with Turkey because they were trying to get Turkey into accession to the EU at the same time that the UK is trying to leave. Speaking of the UK trying to leave, it's not going well for Prime Minister Theresa May, because half of the people that worked for her ended up leaving. I think the latest so far was Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson. He ended up just leaving outright because he didn't believe that it was like Brexit was going anywhere. And plus, Brexit was already influenced by Russia, because Russia, you know, they want to see the European Union go up in flames because they're mad that Europeans winning, and they're not, because they're still stuck with that Soviet mindset that they control Europe and they don't. You know, that's why the Polish people hate Russia so much. That's why the Bulgarians and the Ukrainians and the Romanians and the Czechs and the Hungarians. That's why they hate Russia so much, because, you know, they remember that point in history when they were dictatorships and they were directly controlled by the Soviet Union. You know, they didn't like that. They liked the United States better because under the United States they get to do whatever the hell they want. So anyways, I'm talking about President Erdogan. He used to be prime minister, and then they did that whole thing where, like, they changed the government to basically look more like the U.S.'s style government. And here's a bit of a problem with that in Turkey. So in Turkey, Turkey has, for the vast majority of its history, it's had a series of coups d'etats. So what a coup d'etat is when, like, a group of people overthrow the government and they basically install themselves. So there's been a history of that. It's happened in the 60s, the 80s. There was a recent one that happened in 2016 that basically changed everything about Turkey. So it became this really, really democratic, you know, secular Middle Eastern nation that looked like it was on the path to becoming a European Union member. And all of a sudden it basically slid to what Russia is today. An authoritarian regime in power in Turkey. And I feel sad for my friend because she lives in Turkey, and I don't know if it's going to affect her life or not, because what Erdogan is trying to do is basically make Turkey look like every other Middle Eastern country that is heavily, like, Islam is heavily prevalent in politics and basically every aspect of their life. Now, I'm pretty sure Turkish people don't want that. I mean, they, you know, they're pretty good about their faith, but they don't want it everywhere, and they don't want, you know, them looking like Saudi Arabia. And recently, Erdogan has been appealing to President Putin because he's been sparring with countries like the United States and Germany. And Germany is a pretty big vocal critic of Turkey's recent changes and becoming an authoritarian country. So who else does President Trump support? So this might be an oddball. The oddball is that President Trump supports this Polish Prime Minister. I can't remember what his name was. It's a Polish name. I don't speak Polish. But their party, the Law and Justice Party, they're kind of anti-EU. So what they suggest is that they say no to migration because they believe that the Muslims are going to take over, and you know, them having just created their identity after the Soviets took it away from them for about a good running 40 years. You know, I think they have a reason to be scared, but it's like, you know, these people are just trying to come here and, you know, have a better life. Plus, Poland really needs a kickstart to its economy. But anyways, so the funny thing about their little, like their strongman relationship in Poland is that they're heavily anti-Russian. You know, they drum up the whole, Russia's gonna invade Poland, Russia's gonna invade all these different countries and just put it under the Russian belt. And in a way that's true because President Putin's been demonstrating that for a while. I mean, they've done airspace violations in Bulgaria, Romania, Sweden, Denmark, the UK, all these different places in Europe. And I'm pretty sure they're gearing up and they're getting ready to, you know, make that one final push to get Europe under Russian influence, because that's ultimately that's what they want. You know, in Hungary, it's quite opposite. So I don't remember what the name of the party was called. The political, I think it's called like Fidesz or something. I don't know. I don't speak Hungarian, so just look it up. Just look it up for yourself, like what the political party in power in Hungary is. So there's this guy named Viktor Orban. The funny thing about him was that in his early years, he was heavily anti-Russian. Now he's pretty pro-Russian. I don't know why. It probably has something to do with, hold up real quick. It probably has something to do with, you know, the whole migrant crisis back in 2015. There were a wave of Muslim immigrants were coming to Europe, and they were overwhelming countries, and you know there was just too many to take in. So he is heavily anti-immigrant, you know, when it comes to the Muslim side for some reason. You know, a lot of countries in Europe are slanking in the Islamophobia direction. You know, countries like Denmark, Switzerland, and France, you know, they're banning the face mask that women wear. You know, where it covers up their entire face except like maybe there's the eye slit. And he's pro-Russian. He's pro-Russian. He's trying to style his government off of the Russian model, and he called it illegitimate democracy. No, not illegitimate. No, illiberal. That's the term. Illiberal democracy. I don't know exactly what that meant, but I'm pretty sure it meant going against the liberal order of things. You know, the supporting of gays, the LGBTQ community, you know, that type of stuff. And he's preaching family values, Christian values, you know, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. But yeah, he is Donald Trump. He pretty much tends to side with the dictators and authoritarian rulers in the world, and he basically goes against people who are all about the liberal order because he believes that they ripped off the United States. Funny thing that Donald Trump tried to do is so there was a talk of removing the Endangered Species Act. I'm like, you guys have nothing else better in your administration to do, so you guys go after the Endangered Species Act. I don't know why they're doing that. I think maybe it's because they're trying to get jobs back. They're so desperate to appeal to the fan base, like, we're gonna get jobs back. We're gonna get jobs back. But really, we've all got those jobs back due to Obama fixing that whole housing crisis thing. So that's why our economy is in good shape. You can thank former President Barack Obama for that. Trump hasn't really done anything for the past 2 years besides argue on Twitter and cause a whole lot of controversy. So he's coming to Utica Monday. I'm not gonna be too thrilled to see him. I wish there was more I could say about it, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna get the attention of my parents. My parents are really pro-Trump. If you asked them to go to a rally, they would say yes in a heartbeat. They would be at that rally, and they would hear every single thing that Trump's hot garbage mouth has to say. Like, this dude really needs to get off of Twitter. Seriously, he sounds like a 15-year-old girl when he argues on Twitter. Like, you're the president of the United States. You're embarrassing us. You're embarrassing the superpower of the world. And you're wondering why China's taking advantage of us because we look like a bunch of idiots. So yeah, guys, so for you fellow Uticans, be on the lookout. If you don't like his policies, you know, peacefully protest. Don't do none of that anarchy BS. It's not gonna work out in the long run. Just peacefully protest, you know, get your voice out there, be heard. The only reason why he's in power today is because of the people, and you know, the Russians too. They kind of help with that, with the whole with the fake accounts on Facebook and stuff like that, and them trying to vie for influence. You know, that's a whole thing. There's a whole investigation going on right now with my man Robert Mueller, basically looking into seeing if Russia actually had any part. I believe that the Russians heavily influenced the 2016 election because they believed that Donald Trump was going to be pro-Russian friendly and that they were going to get European nations to stop putting sanctions on Russia because Russia's economy isn't looking too real hot right now. So that was my 2 cents on Donald Trump. I know that was a lot to take in. I know I sound like I'm pretty much ranting, but there is a bit of truth in that. What else am I going to talk about today? I want to talk a little bit about the new Call of Duty that's coming out. So you all have heard of it. Black Ops 4. We're getting a new Call of Duty. I mean, were you really surprised? We get one like every freaking year. They did the beta testing already. I know a friend, Nikki. Actually, she's not really my friend. I mean, I tried to be her friend and she completely ignored me, so I was like, okay, screw you too. But anyways, she's real excited for Call of Duty Black Ops 4, as are millions of kids out there, because Call of Duty has turned into a kids game. Now, I used to be a big Call of Duty player. I mean, I love Call of Duty. I wish Call of Duty would clean up its act and, you know, appeal to the older fan base like me. You know, we want boots on the ground again. We want modern warfare. They tried doing the whole Call of Duty World War II thing and ended up being super cliched, and they ended up adding a whole bunch of stuff, and it ended up ruining that experience, so it's like, So the one thing they're trying to do in Black Ops 4 is they're trying to make the game competitive, when the game wasn't designed to be competitive. It's an arcade shooter. It's one of those shooters where you're designed to have fun. The problem is nowadays is that Call of Duty is basically the same BS over and over and over again. Like, by Black Ops 4, you're practically thinking, you'll probably think, if you're like me, who really tends to think when you buy video games, like, is this video game going to be the same? Is it going to be actually different this time? What did they do differently? Are there any new features that they added in? That is not the case with Call of Duty. So with Call of Duty, I didn't know about this until like I watched a couple of videos. I watch a channel called B Dobbins for the Win. He's a game critic. You can go subscribe to him. He talks a lot about why Call of Duty's going downhill, and he criticizes other games too, like Destiny, especially Destiny 2. I don't know why my brother and my cousin, my little cousin, like that game a lot. It is a 6 out of 10 game, and that's being really, really generous about it. Because it is a direct carbon copy of Destiny. It has no substance. There's literally like nothing great about it. Like, the campaign is overly cliche. You might as well not have a campaign. You might as well just put the multiplayer. The problem with multiplayer is that it's the same thing like Destiny 1, so it's like it's super boring. And let's just face it, Destiny 2 is literally a game where they basically shoehorn all the cut content from Destiny 1. Remember back in Destiny, when they were developing it, like, I didn't really get the hint until like Halo 3 ODST when they shoehorned their little advertisement. Like, if you played Halo 3 ODST, you guys would know what I'm talking about. So you play the campaign, and all of a sudden you come across, like, you know, this little billboard that says Ascalon, but it shows Earth, and then it shows like this little white sphere, and it says Destiny awaits. That was their big advertisement. That was like Bungie's way of saying, when we're done doing Halo, we're gonna move on to something great. Except that didn't end up pretty great at all. It ended up being pretty much a mess. So before I talk about Call of Duty, I'm going to talk a little bit about Destiny. So with Destiny, remember back then when they came out with the Path Out of Darkness, the VidDoc thing, and they had this whole framework laid out where it was like, you're a guardian, you know, you're trying to figure out why humanity, you know, the golden age has collapsed, and you were gonna go to these different places. There was gonna be so much lore behind it, but then they ended up cutting it out because they thought people weren't gonna like it. And here we go. A game that's 6 out of 10. It's pretty basic. I love how they say that it was gonna be the most social game ever, and then it's not. It's the most anti-social game I've ever seen, because you can't even talk in a lobby. I mean, like, you can't really communicate a lot. I mean, you got the emoticons, but like, what do the emoticons do? They're like emoticons in Fortnite. They're just there just to be there. You know, they're there to get the people to, you know, enjoy the game a little bit more. And I mean, there isn't really a whole lot with emoticons. So they cut out a whole bunch of content. They scrapped the original idea of, you know, making this like a really well thought out game. There was going to be a whole lot of lore behind it. There was going to be a whole lot of like locations to go to. If you watch the VidDoc, you would know what I mean. Like just watch all the videos of like the first Destiny and the vid docs of trying to create the game and stuff like that. So we got hot garbage instead. And it's a 6 out of 10 game. People say it's an 8 out of 10 because, you know, all the fanboys hop on and be like, no, this is a really good game. I swear, you play it, you're gonna love it. You know, it's so innovative, and it's not. It really isn't. It's a watered down game of what it was originally meant to be. Okay, so I'm done about Destiny. If you guys want to figure out more about I don't want to be a game critic because I don't have all the facts. I'm still trying to learn more about why games are what they are and which games suck and which games don't suck, based off of whatever facts are given to me by B. Dobbins FTW. Go subscribe to him. Trust me, you're gonna be pretty happy you did, because he talks about like video games and, you know, and he criticizes them a lot, so just keep that in mind. And he's gonna save you a ton of money. He's gonna prevent you from buying games that are basically a piece of shit. You know, excuse my language, but that's what Destiny and Call of Duty are, especially Call of Duty. I used to play a whole lot of Call of Duty. In fact, for like 4 summers, I've played Call of Duty. What was it? I got Xbox Live for the first time because my dad pressured me into doing it because my cousin had Xbox Live, and then they told my dad about it, and then my dad was like, you know, you should get that. And I was like, well, first I didn't want it, so we went through this whole hassle. I wanted it, and then I didn't want it, and then I wanted it again. So that basically occurred for like a week. And I finally got it, and man, I was a changed person. I stopped going outside. I was pretty hooked on it because I knew, like, they thought I wasn't gonna abuse the system, but that's like the big mistake they always make. So I ended up abusing Xbox Live. You know, that's kind of my fault. Well, that's wholly my fault. You know, I didn't know when to stop. So I don't really regret it because Modern Warfare 3 was a really good game. I mean, the multiplayer could have been better, but the campaign was actually pretty good, and that's surprising coming from Call of Duty because the campaigns have been pretty lackluster nowadays. Even Halo 2, I'll talk about that sometime later. But with Call of Duty, it's a simple child's game. They're trying to make the game so that everybody wins and then there's no strategy involved in it. There's no recoil. The recoil is basically aesthetics. And then when people play Battlefield and they're like, oh, what's wrong with the gun? There's so much recoil to it. Everything's just bouncing up and down. Well, my friend, that's how guns work in real life. You know, you're probably thinking, if you played Call of Duty before, why you're bashing on Call of Duty now? Because when I bought Call of Duty Ghosts, I was going to be really excited because I was like, ooh, this might be another good Call of Duty. I didn't really realize the whole formula of what they did for Call of Duty. And that game was garbage. It was a waste of $60. I don't even play it anymore. It's just sitting right there. It's like sitting somewhere back over there. The only game I played now was Battlefield 4. Ever since I got into Battlefield 4 multiplayer because my cousins introduced it to me, I've been hooked. Me and my cousin, that's why I still have an Xbox 360. So me and my cousins, I was technically supposed to play with him today. I might later, so we might play all the way until like 1 in the morning because that's usually how it works. But yeah. There's no recoil. If there is recoil, it's just for aesthetics. The maps are basically the same layout. It's highly symmetrical. It's designed so that people can easily find other people, and then you can have these close quarter engagement battles. Which it gets really bad because then the maps are repetitive. There's no dynamic maps. There's no cover. If there is cover, they don't really mean much anything because, you know, given that this is another futuristic game that they're making, there's probably going to be some type of like wall hopping or something like that. You know, something that they took from Titanfall because they're not innovative anymore. Because nowadays, games today have all the stuff that they have. They have the customizable classes. They have the creator class. They have sprint. They have all of that mumbo jumbo. You know, Call of Duty's kind of lagging behind. speaking of them lagging behind, did you guys know? You know how like every single year when a Call of Duty comes out, they're like, oh guys, look, we revamped the AI system. The graphics are gonna be better. You know, everything's gonna run smoothly. Well, first of all, we still have that netcode problem where it lags every now and then, and that's basically to add randomness because, you know, they don't want kids being discouraged from not playing the game because it's too hard. Because the game is supposed to, you know, be played the way, you know what? It's supposed to be played the way that should be played. So another thing that's big in games is skill gap. So skill gap is when like you play a game and then you suck at it. So like it's dynamic. So like Battlefield 4, it's like super dynamic. You have vehicles that you have to use. The gun play is a little bit different. Like all guns are good for a different scenario. All other guns are good for all other scenarios and stuff like that. And you know, it's a different game experience every single time. So when a kid calls in like an airstrike in Call of Duty, I have to laugh to myself because I'm like, in Battlefield, you are the airstrike. You can be the airstrike as long as you don't get shot down. Like you could be in an A-10 Warthog dropping J-dams on everybody, and you can do it for the entire match as long as you haven't, you know, as long as you haven't been shot down by a Stinger or an Igla. What was I gonna say? So in Call of Duty, did you know that they're still using the same engine from 1997? You know, they're always talking about the oh guys, look, we revamped the AI system, the graphics. They're still using the same engine from 1997. Battlefield doesn't do that. Every now and then, you know, they switch over to a different engine. You know, the Frostbite engine is one of the best engines on the market right now in terms of like graphics and the overall quality of it. You know, nowadays games play in 1080 pixels, 60 frames per second. That's kind of been the standard, whereas Call of Duty's always been at 30 frames per second because they're always trying to sell on old gen consoles. So it didn't really feel like a next gen game. And it turned into more of a child's-like game because you know, you got all the microtransactions that really pissed me off. The freaking supply drop of all things. That's why I stopped playing Call of Duty, because I knew there was gonna be supply drop. You know, like every single one of their games, including Modern Warfare Remastered. You know, that kind of sucks because I was really hoping a Modern Warfare Remastered multiplayer because it looked really good. Because it's Modern Warfare Remastered, and all of a sudden they shoot in supply drops, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's great. And the content they put in there, it looks so cartoonish, it kind of breaks the immersion, it kind of breaks the escapism. So what escapism is the ability to play the game without suspending your disbelief, without believing that, you know, without believing that it looks fake, like, it just feels fake. Like with Battlefield, yeah, obviously, there's certain things that are fake about it, like you get sniped in the head and all of a sudden you get revived with like a defib, or you jump out of a jet mid-air and then you shoot down like another jet with your RPG and then you get back in that jet. Well, obviously that's not real, but it's real enough where people can suspend their disbelief. You know, people are going to be out there saying, oh, this is unrealistic or something like that. Well, I mean, for the most part, people are going to be like, this is like kind of realistic, you know? That's not what it is in Call of Duty. You have all these wacky outfits, and who the hell's gonna want to put a gold finish on their gun? That practically like makes you like, you know, when the light hits your gun, it like flashes off of the gold finish, and then you're basically like a sitting duck for everybody else. Like everyone's like, oh, there's that guy, he's right there. You know, everybody go gangbang him. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like Call of Duty is on life support right now, and Activision is just using Call of Duty to milk it out of its money until they can, like, you know, it dies and then they move on to a different franchise like Destiny. But I have a feeling Destiny is gonna die out prematurely with the way they've been cutting out content, and they're adding a whole bunch of pointless microtransactions and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my take on Call of Duty. Call of Duty isn't the Call of Duty that I knew. Call of Duty is filled with kids who basically dick ride the future setting, and they all love the goofy outfits because, you know, that's them. You know, how's a little kid gonna know what's real and what's not? But anyways, yeah, so I think I'm gonna end this video now because it's a little over an hour, and I wasn't expecting it for it to be this long, and my throat's hurting really bad, and my brother Cat Booster is gonna make a video. He did a vlog in Niagara Falls. We went there about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we went there 2 weeks ago. It was a really fun time. If you guys haven't watched it already, the Niagara Falls video is up now. Go watch it. It hasn't gotten too many views yet. I'm hoping more people will watch it once I advertise it on like Snapchat and Instagram and stuff like that. But here's my plan going forward. I only have 2 weeks of vacay left, and I need to get my stuff together. You know, I gotta buy my books. I still gotta do all that mumbo jumbo. I'm pretty sure everyone's already done that, but I have this really not so amazing ability to basically procrastinate and do everything last minute, which is a habit I've been trying to break for a really long time, and it's not working in my favor because I love procrastinating. I mean, like, you want to do all your favorite stuff first and then do the important stuff later, but then when you do it later, it's like, well, it's too late. But yeah, so it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks I go back to school. That sucks. You know, I gotta wait another 9 months for another vacay, and then it's junior year and then senior year, and then I get the hell out of Utica and then do whatever I want with my life. But I'm thinking tomorrow, if I'm not going anywhere, I want to do a Detroit Become Human review. I'm trying to get that out of the way, and I really want to do some Life is Strange gameplay footage. Oh wait. Before I end this video, even though I really want to end this video because my throat's hurting right now and it's over an hour long, bear with me, guys. So during the summer program, I have a friend whose name is Namu. We call her the Center Kid because you know, she's called the Center Kid. We call her the Center Kid because during the summer program, you sitting in the classroom, and I had the fortunate ability to be in a math class, you know, because I was actually pretty decent at math all the way up until like the exponent stuff, because I'm really bad with those. But you know, we're pretty close. I mean, at first I didn't really know her, and then like half a week into the first week, she starts sitting in the middle of the table for some reason. So the way the tables are laid out, it's like one of those business meeting types tables where like it's in a circle, like all the tables are in a circle, and then in the middle there's like this open space. So she ends up sitting in the open space like every time she comes to the classroom. And you know, we start to get to know each other, and she calls me Jackson. I don't know why, but she calls me Jackson. I'm pretty fine with that. You know, it's actually kind of how do I put it, adorable. I don't want to sound like a sexual predator, but it's kind of adorable. Like she comes in, and then all of a sudden she's like, Jackson, hey, and she's like all happy and energetic to see me and stuff like that. So I think I just made a new friend. She's gonna be in 8th grade in JFK middle school. So hopefully she's able to do good. You know, it's middle school. It's not exactly the best time of your life, but it's one of the more easier times of your life. But anyways, so we're pretty good friends. If you look at it from a distance, it almost looks like a father-daughter relationship, because she's like a little kid, and I look like an adult with my freaking goatee, my long hair, my deep-ass voice, and it sounds like I have autism, but I probably don't. Maybe, I don't know at this point. But yeah, so we were pretty close. She's a really cool person. I like her. I'm hoping if I do the summer program tutoring thing again, I'll be able to see her. But what I really want to talk about before I end this video, because it's a life stories video, and I can't exactly finish it without touching base on this a little bit. So we're leaving, and well, this is before we were leaving. This is like a week before. It was like probably like a couple of days before like this summer program starts to end, because it ended in like July 27th. And you know, she's leaving, going to bus, and then all of a sudden she picks up these like groups of she picks up 2 Polaroid photos. I don't think they're Polaroid. I think they're like Fuji photos, because there was like 2 types of cameras. There was the Fuji Insta camera ones, like the instant film ones, and then there's Polaroid. I'm a bigger fan of Polaroid just because of brand name, and because I played a lot of Life is Strange, and my favorite character, Max Caulfield, uses a Polaroid camera. But anyway, she comes up to me. She was like, "Hey, look, I found some photos." I was like, "Oh, well, that's cool." So I was like, "Let me take a look at it." She was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go on the bus now." And I'm like, "Well, who are they from?" And I'm like, and she was like, "Well, I don't know. I just found them on the ground." So I'm thinking, what my guess is that one of my other friends, it was probably her like batch of photos. So her name is Amaya Rosado. Like she's gonna be in 9th grade, but you know, she almost looks like an 18-year-old. Wow, that sounded really weird. That sounded bad. Well, let me take that back. So basically, she looks older. She looks old for her age, like more mature. What I'm trying to say is, so Amaya, she's a really cool person. She kind of thinks the same way I do. She's a bit of a gamer. She's also a bit of a nerd. You know, she's gonna go really, really far in practice, because she's a really smart kid, and you know, hats off to her. But I think I do have her photos, so let me just reach back here real quick. So the photos are next to me. So Amaya, I keep forgetting your name, because there's 2 Amayas. There's Amaya Tran, which is part of the Tran sisters, like, you know, the Tran twins that I just talked about earlier. So there's Amaya Tran. She's 18 years old. She goes out with Joe. Joe's a pretty good friend of mine, so I tend to like third wheel. She's a pretty good friend. And then this Amaya didn't really know about until like March. So the first Fuji film I'm about to show to you today is this one. So you guys see it? You guys see it? You guys see it? Yep. Okay. So pretty normal photo, right? You know, it's a picture of like the waterfalls, and it's like a picture of a fountain, something like that, on a deck. I think this was taken on like a deck or something like that. It looks pretty cool. I've never seen instant film before, so this is my first time seeing it, and it looks really cool. It looks really hipster-ish, like it's a throwback to an era, like, you know, the simpler times. The second one I'm gonna show you is a little bit weird. So do you guys see it? I don't know if you guys see it, but like in the picture, there's a set of eyes, like right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a set of eyes, if you can see it. I don't know what the eyes are. It looks like some type of creature. I don't know what it is. It looks like a dog, but I'm not sure. I'm not really too sure. So there's like a set of eyes, and I'm gonna point right here. So like, if you see where my long ass fingernails are, there's a set of eyes right about there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a set of eyes, and I can't help but think what type of creature that is. I might have to ask Amaya when we go back to school. But yeah, that's it. You know, that's all I wanted to do in terms of talking about that photos. So comment what you think was in that second photo I just showed you. I sound a little bit incoherent right now because my throat is super dry and I kind of want to stop talking. You know, I can't. This is why I don't do hour-long videos. It kills my throat. It really kills my throat. But so for the last 2 weeks, I want to try to crank out as many videos as possible. So I'm gonna do that Detroit Become Human review. Then I want to do at least maybe 1 or 2 Life is Strange gameplays before I go back to school. So that's the plan, guys. So if you guys enjoyed this hour-long video, I'm sorry that it's more than an hour long. I did not expect it to be this long. So thank you guys for sticking it out till the end. If you did, if you didn't, I'm sorry if this was a little bit too political for you and stuff like that. If this is more of a rant, this is actually more of a life story video than anything else. You know, I'm just commenting on different things and stuff like that. But if you guys follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is at Jason_Houn. So everything is lowercase, and then, you know, we got the underscore in the middle. So if you look at my Instagram, I have a post, and I was asking my friend, he makes book bags, so he makes book bags in Uticus. You know, they're called urban lost bags. They're waterproof. You can go anywhere with them. I really wanted one, but I know my parents were gonna say no. So here's what I put up. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I don't know. I don't think you guys can see it, because it's like freaking bright in here. But basically, what it's saying is that it's saying. So I messaged him. You know, the whole in Instagram they did that new questionnaire thingamajig, so it's like Sarah. I don't know if people use that app anymore, but it basically functions like that. So basically, what it's saying, I said, can you make customized book bags for me once I hit a certain amount of subscribers? And he said once you hit 5K. I don't know if you can see it. It's like super. Everything's like washed out and like all super bright and shit. But it said once you hit 5K subs, maybe. So guys, I have a mission for you. I have a task for you. I need you to advertise my channel. Tell your friends. If your friends like watching vlogs and me doing stupid stuff, and especially for the class of 2017, go tell your roommates, go tell your new friends about my channel. I need to hit 5K. I want to hit 5K, I mean. I don't need to, but I want to. Because then I could get Josh, my friend, my good old friend and pal Josh, you know, kudos to him that he makes like book bags in his spare time. You know, he didn't have to do it, but he did it for the sake of, you know, being a Utican. So help my channel hit 5K. If you hit 5K, I will tell Josh to make customized book bags with my channel logo on it. I don't know what color I want it in yet, but I'll put my channel logo on it. And if you guys are in the greater Utica area, you guys can buy my book bags. But I can't do that unless I hit 5K subscribers. Right? So go around, tell your friends, you know, tell your family if you know, if they're into this type of stuff. Tell everybody. Just tell everybody about my channel. You want those book bags, right? You want urban lost book bags. Well, help me, and I can help you guys out. So if you like this video, like, subscribe. If you want those book bags, remember, you want those book bags, you're gonna have to subscribe to me. Comment on the video about what you think about the whole political stuff. I didn't really get too in depth with the climate change because my throat's really dry right now, and it's gonna sound like I'm dying. I kind of am right now. And so like, subscribe, comment, and don't forget to enjoy this video. I mean, I don't want any fanboy wars down there and stuff. I don't want this to be like a whole argument thing with Jake. I just wanted to bring this stuff up just because, you know, I need to clear my mind about it. But this is the video, guys. This is it. I will end it now. It was longer than I wanted to be. I want to end it now. Alright. So, peace, guys. If I don't see you then, I'll probably see you whenever I have the time to make videos. Either before school starts or during the school year.